I actually want to tell you something really funny. I don't care. I'm gonna air it out. On God,
What?
like I connected Prismel with one of like someone from Khamzat's team, and the guy said $700,000 to stream with Cosma. I never laughed. Yeah, it was insane.
700K?
Yeah.
That's just bad because I don't
Yo,
even
that
know
nigga
who the
loses
fuck that
yo.
is.
A simple plan for a live stream between Adin Ross and Khamzat Chimaev has turned into a viral story. Adin claims Khamzat's team asked for an enormous payment, while Khamzat strongly denies it. Social media is buzzing as both sides share their version, and the MMA community is paying close attention to how this situation unfolds. Further, Adin Ross opened up about his recent interaction with someone he believed was connected to Khamzat Chimaev. During his stream, he decided to share details that caught everyone off guard. According to Adin, the response he got when trying to arrange a stream with Khamzat was completely unexpected, and the number he mentioned left him and his viewers in complete disbelief.
I actually want to tell you something really funny. I don't care. I'm gonna air it out. On God,
What?
like I connected Prismel with one of like someone from Khamzat's team, and the guy said $700,000 to stream with Cosma. I never laughed so hard in my life.
What the?
Yeah, it was insane.
700K?
Yeah.
That's just bad because I don't
Yo,
even know
that
who
nigga
the
loses
fuck that is.
yo. Nigga, was he gonna teach the chat how to submit a nigga step by step? Like what the? No.
Islam did it for free. That is true, bro. On God. Islam. I'm now talking to Ali direct. I'm probably gonna go to Dagestan soon.
Furthermore, the controversy between Adin Ross and the UFC didn't end with his comments about Khamzat. Things escalated further when Adin streamed UFC 318 on his platform without official rights. This move didn't go unnoticed, and reports quickly surfaced about legal action.
How are you allowed to stream the UFC? Company which looks after their copyright and stuff is still like sending like 10 emails, like constantly getting all angry.
No way.
Answer takedown requests that you've given you permission. So they were just like, yeah, they were getting pretty frantic about it all.
Meanwhile, after Adin's comments about the $700,000 demand went viral, attention shifted to Khamzat's response. Fans waited to see how the UFC star would react, and it didn't take long for him to share his thoughts. His reaction quickly became a talking point, revealing what he thinks about Adin and whether he's interested in appearing on the popular streamer's platform. Furthermore, as more details emerged, the situation took another turn. Adin explained that the demand for $700,000 didn't come from Khamzat himself, but from someone pretending to represent him. According to Adin, this fake manager attempted to exploit the situation for personal gain. He even revealed that a much lower price had been discussed months earlier for a similar appearance.
Khamzat's manager, that was not a real manager, it was a fake Khamzat manager, was trying to charge me 700 bands to pocket. Check this out though. Hold on a second. I found out this same fake manager tried to offer Convy to get Khamzat on stream for 100 bands. So how did the price go up from 100 to 700?
Meanwhile, the Khamzat and Adin Ross situation was unfolding. Some experts weighed in. Big John McCarthy shared his thoughts on whether this drama could hurt Khamzat or the UFC. He reminded everyone how the UFC once promoted Khamzat as one of their fastest rising fighters. His honest take helped clear up questions about the impact of the controversy on Khamzat's career and the sport overall.
Absolutely not. Will it be damaging for the sport or damaging for the UFC of Khamzat? No. You know, it's so funny because Khamzat at one time, and I said something and people got all mad at me because the UFC was actually pushing Khamzat as the guy who was going to have the most fights, the fastest number of fights in the UFC of anybody ever. And I go, you know, the fastest guy to have 4 fights in the UFC, and I go, Royce Gracie had 4 fights in a night. Don't give me that bullshit, okay?
Adding on, Josh Thompson shared his thoughts on Khamzat's situation, saying he's not sure it will cause major problems, but agrees there are real concerns about Khamzat's health. He mentioned that Khamzat has had COVID and other illnesses, which could affect his performance. This is important because the middleweight division has been one of the most active and exciting parts of the UFC recently.
Yeah, I'm not on the bandwagon of saying it'll be disaster, but I will say that I agree with Dean a little bit. He's been known to be sick because of the COVID situation. He's been known with illnesses. Those are the things I think most people are, I think that Dean's mainly talking about. Now, he's had visa problems. That's been fixed. I would assume that's because Dana and Trump. I would assume that that's why. Because now all of a sudden he's allowed to. Now, that may go away in 4 years. So
3.5.
You never know. Yeah, 3.5. But I do get concerned that if he is ill, if he is sick, if he's having, health problems, health issues, that does scare me a little bit because look, we've already gone through the heavyweight division being held up.
Thompson also mentioned Khamzat's visa issues, saying they seem resolved, likely due to changes in regulations. He pointed out how other divisions have faced inactivity, making the middleweight division's activity more important. Thompson hopes Khamzat stays healthy and active, even joking about Alex's weight, but recognizing the excitement the division brings.
Health problems, health issues, that does scare me a little bit because look, we've already gone through the heavyweight division being held up. The 205-pound division's kind of lagging. One of the divisions, finally the middleweight division, has got some activity, and they've got great activity.
Some momentum.
Yes, it's fun to watch, man. I mean, I'd love to see Alex come back down and fight at 85. It won't happen. He's 240 right now. But you know what I mean? Like I understand what he's talking about. I'm not quite convinced though that it'll happen. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I know that I'm trying to cross them. They're still, but I mean, for me, I'm trying to look at the positive side and being like, hey, once he becomes champion.
On the other side, before the big fight, Khamzat Chimaev has been taking some time to relax and enjoy himself. After all the recent drama and intense training, moments like these help fighters recharge. It's important to see how Khamzat balances his downtime with preparing for one of the biggest fights of his career, showing a different side of the UFC star. Moving on, Khamzat Chimaev's skills inside the octagon have made him one of the most exciting fighters to watch. A big part of his success comes from his grappling ability. Understanding what sets his grappling apart helps explain why he's been able to dominate opponents so quickly and effectively in the UFC, making him a serious threat in his division. Furthermore, Chimaev's camp has been focused on pushing his limits and improving every area of his game. His manager Majdi Shamas shared insights on the progress they've seen, pointing out major improvements and strong teamwork. From better cardio to his connection with training partners, these details highlight the intense preparation that's shaping Khamzat for the challenges ahead.
Camp progressing, the guy's an animal. One thing I see about him, his cardio is going to another level.
Yeah, I mean, you see it every week, it just gets better and better. Coach Cal also, he's looking at the numbers, and he's saying that it's incredible, the numbers that he's putting out. So,
and I'm watching him train with Armin. It seems like him and Armin have an amazing connection right now.
Yeah. You see, they have like this kind
they're
of
battling each other.
Exactly. When
I've
they're
never
training,
seen this.
when they're training, they're going for each other, and then we're not training, they're together like brothers. So it's perfect. It's a good matchup. They're both like dialed in, and they're both some of the best fighters in the world. So it's good to have them working together.
It's a lethal combo, Armin and Khamzat together.
Meanwhile, as the fight approaches, many former fighters are analyzing how Khamzat Chimaev matches up with Dricus du Plessis. Luke Rockhold, who has trained with top-level athletes, shared his perspective on the matchup. He acknowledged Khamzat's strengths in wrestling, ground control, and pressure, but also pointed out an area where Dricus could have an advantage if the fight goes the distance.
How does that fight play out?
We'll see how it plays out. I think Khamzat is very good at wrestling. He's very good on the ground. He's very good at pressure. The longevity of the fight hasn't been his best approach. So you see with Usman, you see with Gilbert. Tough test. I've put a lot of rounds in with DDP, and he don't go away. So unless he gets to him early, it's gonna be tough late.
So if he doesn't put him away early, it's a DDP type of fight.
I think that's the way the DDP goes. You know, he manages to get through, weathers the storms, and he keeps going. That's what champions do, and that's why DDP.
Furthermore, Michael Bisping also shared his thoughts on how Dricus du Plessis matches up against Khamzat Chimaev. Known for his detailed fight analysis, Bisping explained why fans shouldn't underestimate Dricus in this matchup. He highlighted Dricus's physical strength, wrestling ability, and striking power, making it clear that this fight could be more competitive than many expect if both fighters bring their best skills to the octagon.
Dricus du Plessis, I mean, you cannot doubt this guy. And he said he wants to fight Khamzat on the ground. He's not intimidating. He's big, he's strong, he can wrestle, he's got great judo, he's got knockout power, he's had a nose job, so he's got a great gas tank now as well.
Adding on, Brendan Schaub gave his take on the upcoming matchup between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus du Plessis. He considers it one of the biggest middleweight fights ever, featuring an undefeated contender against an established champion in his prime. Brendan highlighted the contrast in their styles and praised both fighters for their unique strengths.
My prisoner of the moment, I feel like DDP Khamzat is one of the greatest middleweight competitions to ever happen in the UFC. You got Khamzat undefeated, boogeyman, DDP already a middleweight great in a prime of his career. I have no clue how this is going to fold out. No clue. No clue. Gun to the head, DDP is so good, so durable, so big, and just finds a way to win. He's just an absolute winner. He's one of my faves.
Brendan continued by explaining what makes this matchup unpredictable. He called Dricus a fighter who always finds a way to win and described Khamzat as the division's boogeyman. Brendan addressed past concerns about Khamzat's cardio, saying he's seen major improvements. However, he warned that if Khamzat fails to finish early, Dricus could take over in the later rounds and secure the win.
And he's so unorthodox, and you have Khamzat, this boogeyman. Obviously, cardio was an issue for him back in the day. I'm here to tell you now, I've personally, with these peepers, have seen the man train. Cardio is not an issue, but that's all predicated on, let's say Khamzat goes in there and tries to get DDP down in the first 2 rounds and can't get it done, and he gets tired. DDP in that 3rd, 4th, and 5th will finish him, you know? So I'm interested to see what Khamzat's game plan is.
Furthermore, Belal Muhammad also shared his thoughts on what a win would mean for Khamzat Chimaev's career. He explained that Khamzat is already seen as a major star in the UFC. Belal believes a dominant performance over Dricus du Plessis would not only prove Khamzat's skills, but also make him one of the biggest names in the sport.
I think he's way off on this one. I think it'll be one of the biggest things for the UFC if Chimaev wins the belt. I think it'll be probably one of the biggest stars, superstar right now the UFC has. He's already a star. He already has that invincible aura about him. I think it's only going to get bigger, especially if he goes out there and dominates Dricus, who's on a hot streak. And I think he can. I think he can go out.
Building on that, Belal explained why he believes Khamzat Chimaev can dominate at middleweight. He said Khamzat looks stronger and is adjusting well to the new weight class. Belal also mentioned that Khamzat's lack of activity before was mostly because of visa issues. Now that he's training in the US and fighting regularly, Belal expects him to stay active and become an even bigger name if he wins the title.
Working hard, he's only getting stronger at 185, showing his body is forming out to it, so I do think he could do it dominantly. I know Dean Thomas said that he won't be as active, but I think a lot of that just comes from not being able to get into the US. Now he's in the US, he's been training in LA, he's fighting in Chicago, especially if he wins the belt. I think it'll be easier for him to stay down here. I think you're way off, Dean. Cheering for Chimaev, I think he wins. I hope he wins. Dricus, you suck. But yeah, Chimaev, you need anything in Chicago, hit my line.
Furthermore, Josh Thompson continued discussing Khamzat's future in the sport. He hopes Khamzat stays healthy, but admitted there are concerns about his long-term durability. Josh mentioned how health issues could influence what happens after this fight, and even brought up recent comments from fighters suggesting early retirement after major wins. This set the stage for his thoughts on how Khamzat's career might unfold shortly.
Active as they possibly can without making him sick, without to the point where he can take care of his body, take care of himself. I think that'll be better for him, you know, not having to worry about traveling overseas, any of those things. So fingers crossed that he stays healthy, and whoever wins this fight, it wins this fight. But I don't think the UFC is thinking like if he wins, it's tragic. No, it's not. No. You know, but I would be a little concerned about his health. Truly would be. Wasn't there a fighter recently just said that he wouldn't be surprised if he retired right there in the cage?
Yeah, someone did.
Chimaev won the title, that he would retire right there in the cage. Kai Bahalo, I think, said that.
Yeah.
Possibly. I mean,
not even possible.
They've trained together. Kai and Chimaev, I mean, maybe there's a little something going on. Like, yeah, man, can't stay healthy, getting in, whatever it is, injuries, whatever. I know, you never know. Because I got to be honest, I've had this conversation. I had this conversation quite a bit with Habib. Is I'm going to win the title, defend it, and I'm done. He talked about that before his father passed. He's like, brother, I don't need to fight very long. Money's going to come. It is what it is. Like, I don't need to. So fight, win the title, defend it a couple times, and then be done. He's like, I don't need to be in the sport too long. So that made sense. And then when his father passed, it just sped it up a little bit. But regardless, I could see that happening. I mean, I wouldn't surprise me, to be honest, John.
Adding on, the Barnhill brothers broke down what Dricus du Plessis needs to do if he faces Khamzat Chimaev. They explained that Khamzat's game plan will almost certainly involve takedowns. Because that's his strength, he has taken down some of the best grapplers in the world, so avoiding that is nearly impossible. The real question is how Dricus responds once Khamzat gets him on the ground.
Alluded to this, as have you, a couple of times in this video. Okay. We know we're going to see Khamzat take DDP down. Yes. That's no secret. Khamzat takes everybody down. He took Usman down. He took Gilbert Burns down. Like, he's taken down grapplers that are more decorated as grapplers both inside and outside of the octagon than Dricus du Plessis. So to think that he's not going to get Dricus down at some point is, I think, a wrong assumption. So what does Dricus do when that happens? And point number 3 to me is never settle on the ground if you're Dricus du Plessis. Agreed. You have to keep the scrambles going, even if it tires you out a little bit. If Khamzat can get you settled, if he can start to get control of your body, that's where things really start to go south. Yes. That's where rounds get lost. They get lopsided, potentially 10-8s. Or worst case scenario if you're his opponent.
They then focused on the key adjustments Dricus needs to make to stay in the fight. Creating scrambles, avoiding giving up easy positions, and forcing Khamzat to work hard are all crucial strategies. They pointed out Dricus' strength, unorthodox style, and ability to create surprises in transitions. If he can make Khamzat expend energy and keep the fight unpredictable, he might find a way to turn things in his favor.
Or you get finished. Yep. So Dricus, what does he have going for him? He's got very good jiu-jitsu. He's very good with submissions and stuff like that. I do not think there's any chance he submits Khamzat in this fight, but he can at least threaten submissions to work his way back to the feet. He's also very strong and he's very wiry. Use that to keep moving. If Khamzat's going to take you down, which he is, make him expend energy. Don't give up takedowns for free. Don't give up positions for free. Make him work to get those takedowns. Make him work in those scrambles. And DDP is just so damn unorthodox that he may even find a weird shot that hurts Khamzat in some of those scrambles. But you have to create those scenarios in order to have that success. So perhaps the biggest key of this fight to me for Dricus is do not settle under any circumstances on the ground when you get taken down. Wiry from start to finish, scrambling from start to finish. If Khamzat's going to hold you on the ground, make it the most difficult thing he's ever done in his life.
Furthermore, MMA Guru also gave his prediction for the fight, and he sees it going in favor of Dricus du Plessis. He believes Dricus has the size, strength, and toughness to handle Khamzat's early pressure and turn the fight around in the later rounds. Guru also pointed out Dricus' strong grappling background, which he thinks could play a key role in this matchup.
Who you got, Chimaev versus DDP? I've got DDP over Chimaev. I've got Dricus du Plessis winning. I think Dricus survives round 1 and finishes Chimaev in the later rounds. Dricus has a really good fundamental base in jiu-jitsu and submission grappling, and it's something that not a lot of people know about. Dricus is bigger, stronger, I think more gritty and heart. He has more heart than Whittaker by far. He's tougher, he's more durable. He doesn't have the teeth problems that Whittaker had. So I think he's going to break Chimaev in the later rounds.
As the drama between Khamzat Chimaev and Adin Ross continues to capture attention, it's clear this story has moved far beyond a simple livestream idea. With fake managers, massive payment claims, legal controversies, and intense fight predictions, this rivalry has sparked big conversations in both the MMA world and the streaming community. All eyes are now on what happens next for Khamzat inside and outside the octagon. What do you think about this entire situation? Was this just a misunderstanding, or is there more drama to come? Share your thoughts in the comments below.